everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time joining me here today. Hi, my name's Hannah. I make videos about a lot of different topics. It's a broad variety here, but if you are a long-time viewer, you may notice we've had another scenery change. Yes, I have moved. Me and my boyfriend moved into this new house, and it is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm obsessed with it. But anyway, if you care about that, I have moving vlogs. They're like my last couple of videos. They'll probably be annotated at the end of this video, so feel free to check those out if you care about my personal life. Let me see. Oh, the only other disclaimer that I really have here is that I have started a Patreon account. If you guys want to support the channel, help me get a actual camera and microphone, because I film on my iPhone right now. I know a lot of you complain about the sound quality, the audio, and probably the video. So if you want to help me with that, feel free to click the link in the description. It'll be the first link in the description, and you can donate if you really want to. Obviously, you don't have to. I appreciate you guys just for being here. So totally optional, just wanted to let you guys know. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump into this video, because that's what you actually came for. So obviously, as you can tell from the title down below, this video is just about some more things that I really disliked about working at Walmart. If you don't know, I worked at Walmart for like 6.5 months, somewhere around there, last year, and it was a really good job as far as the actual job duties go. It was not hard at all. But the thing that ruined the job completely for me was the managers that I had. Not necessarily the store manager, but also him, but just the assistant managers and the CSMs. A lot of them were just not very good. But anyway, this one particular situation I'm going to talk about is kind of like not really related to that. But one thing that I really hated is, well, it's kind of related, but randomly the store manager would decide that our registers just looked absolutely horrible, and he hated it, and he told us that we needed to clean it up. So I would say probably every 2 or 3 months he would come to us out on the floor and be like, hey, I want you guys to take the spray bottle and just spray the entire outside of the register, not just the conveyor belt. Spray the outside. Y'all need to be sweeping the floor because this is a mess. And honestly, our Walmart was one of the cleanest ones that I've ever been to, because it was so small, and it was the only Walmart in like a 30-minute radius from the town we were in, and it was just small, and it was easy to keep clean. Like, people were not super messy. We had accidents every now and then. Check out my other Walmart stories if you want to hear about those accidents. And like, honestly, it was a really clean store. When accidents did happen, when things got spilled, whatever, the people were there within like 10 minutes to clean it. I mean, sometimes they took a little bit longer than they should have, but things got cleaned up generally pretty quickly, because like, if the cashier wasn't able to do it, maintenance would be there as soon as they could. So I just never understood that. He was really adamant that we needed to keep it like extra clean and clean the outside of the register, as if anybody looks at the outside of the register. Like, when you're a customer coming up to a register, you're going to be looking at the conveyor belt portion only to put your stuff on. You don't care about the possible little scrapes and dings all along the bottom, like the very bottom where buggies push into it. I mean, I'm not opposed to cleaning the outside of the register, but I don't think that you need to be obsessive about it. I think there are a lot of other things in the store that should probably have a higher priority than the outside of the register. I mean, I would always do it when he told us, came out there and like had his little freak out panic attack to do it. So, I mean, I would always do it, but I pretty much thought that it was kind of dumb. Like, you're ignoring the bigger problems that go on within this Walmart, and you are zeroing in on literally something so minuscule that nobody notices. I never even looked at the outside of the registers until he would bring it up. And even then, I'd be like, okay, it's the outside of a register. I mean, it's like dark gray, black, like you can't really see what's on it. But he would just flip his lid because there was dings and scratches on the bottom of the register on the outside. And I'm just like, sir, how about we focus on like the obvious favoritism that goes on amongst assistant managers and CSMs? How about we talk about this crazy assistant manager who yells at me over nothing? How about we do something about that kind of thing instead of worrying about what is going on the outside of the registers? You know, like there are other much bigger problems that we should probably address, but no, we're gonna become a cleaning crew, so we need to go ahead and get our practice in. Kind of relating to the crazy assistant manager thing, I want to talk more about the favoritism, because the favoritism at this store was ridiculous. When I say there was favoritism, I mean like people lose their jobs if you don't like them. If the manager doesn't like them, they will find a way to get you out. And they don't have a reason for not liking you. They can just decide, like that one assistant manager decided during my interview that she didn't like me. That's all it takes. Because, okay, I've stated it before in one of my videos, and this is kind of relevant, but I mean, I'm not sure if this is the reason. I was one of 2 white cashiers in this store. The assistant managers, I think one of them was white and the store manager was white. So we were in the minority, and like, I don't really care. I don't care about that. If I'm working with you, you're my coworker, I'm gonna be nice to you. I'm gonna treat you like I would any other person. I mean, I'm generally friends with the people I work with. And like I say, it wasn't the coworkers, it was this particular manager who did not like me. So I was friends, and I'm still friends with like all of the girls that I worked with. We talk a lot, like when I go into the store, like we talk like crazy. But anyway, so I was one of 2 white cashiers, which like, whatever, I don't see the big deal. I don't see the deal about it. And so this manager targeted me and the other white cashier. Now, I don't know if it's because she just didn't like our personalities. Me and this other girl, we were really similar. We're both into tattoos. We're both into this type of thing. So it could have just been she doesn't like tattoos. It could have been that she didn't like the way our personalities were. Me and this other girl, we were really good friends because we were really similar appearance. So, I mean, it might have just been that she didn't like the way we looked. I mean, we both have brown hair. We both wear glasses. I don't know. So, anyway, so she targeted me and this other girl, but this story is about the other girl because I didn't experience this, but she came to me, my coworker, she came to me and she said, hey, this manager, I'm gonna call her Lorraine, we'll just call her Lorraine. So this assistant manager, Lorraine, came to my coworker. Anyway, so she's talking to me. She said, Lorraine just came to me and she told me that I only have 1 point left before I get like fired. And I was like, oh my gosh, why? And she said that it's because when she tries to swipe her name badge in, I don't know, I guess they still do it like this, but at my Walmart, you would have your name tag, right? And you would take it and you'd slide it on the time clock and it would clock you in or clock you out. So she's like, every time I go to do that, it doesn't clock me in, so I have to try a million times, and so I've been late like the past 4 shifts I've worked. And I'm like, oh my gosh, have you asked her for a new name tag? And she's like, yeah, I asked her, and she just keeps saying I'll get you one later. And when I ask her about like, can you take those points off, because like I was here, you can check the camera, I was here, but it wouldn't let me clock in. And she wouldn't take those off. So she was basically giving my coworker like points for being late when she wasn't late. Her thing her name badge just wasn't swiping correctly. And like, I'd seen this happen, and the manager had seen this happen. We'd both seen it happen. Like, I had been there when this manager was there, and my coworker was trying to clock in, and it wasn't letting her, and she still got these points. Or you get a half a point if you're late, but she still got these half a point and half a point, and this manager would not take it off. Like, the assistant managers can remove points if, like, you have a legitimate reason for getting the half a point or missing the day of work or whatever. And this manager did not like her so much that she would sit there and watch her try to clock in. She wouldn't help her. She wouldn't give her a new name badge so she could actually clock in, and she wouldn't take the half a points off. If that's not being evil and vindictive, then I don't know what is. Because, like, this girl, my coworker, she had a baby. Her boyfriend didn't really have a job, and she was the one who was, like, supporting her family, because Walmart pays pretty good. If you have, like, if you work there 30 or so hours a week, it pays pretty good. It's $10, $11 an hour. So, like, everybody knows this girl's situation. She needs this job. How are you gonna be that crazy and mean and just evil to do that to somebody when you know that they're not late? They're just having trouble with their card, and you won't get them a new card. Like, what? Like, who does that? Who does that? I lost pretty much all respect for this manager at that point. The last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is, like, the mandatory breaks and the lunch that you take. Basically, at my store, you are always going to take your break late, and you are always going to get your lunch late, because nobody knows how to schedule. Because I don't know who's in charge of scheduling at Walmart. I don't know if that's assistant manager stuff. I don't know whose job that is, but at my Walmart, they could not schedule to save their lives. They could not do it, and I will never understand why. It's really not that hard. Like, what are you doing? So basically, if you don't know, if you work, every 2 hours you work, you're going to get a break. Every 2.5 hours or so. You get a 15-minute break. You don't have to clock out for it. It's a paid break. And for every 4 or 5 hours, I think, you get a lunch. So usually I would work like an 8-hour shift. So obviously I get a lunch about halfway through. So about 4 hours in, I'll get a lunch. Yeah, that seems right. Every 2 hours you get a break, 4 hours a lunch. Yeah. So that's what happens. And if you don't take your lunch within a certain amount of time of being there, then the register locks you out. Like, it starts beeping and it locks you out. So CSMs are the ones who are in charge of telling you when you can go on your break, when you can go on your lunch, all of that good stuff. So I would always try to be on top of my breaks and my lunch, because when you're starting and when you're being trained, they tell you you are responsible for taking your breaks and your lunch, and they can get in a lot of trouble if you don't take them. So I would always ask the CSM, hey, it's almost time for my break, can I go after this customer? Or, hey, it's almost time for my lunch, can I go after this customer? And they would usually say no. What? And when a new person clocks into the store and they go and scan their badge and it tells them what register to go to, it'll usually send them to the person who has a lunch or a break next. But sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes you're just sitting there hung out to dry, and it is just annoying. I've gotten to the point before where my register started beeping and threatening to lock me out, and my manager, my CSM, was still reluctant to send me to lunch. What goes through your brain? Like, I literally don't understand. Is it that hard to schedule people where you, and like half the time people's lunch is at the same exact time, so you'll have like 3 people go to lunch and then 1 person on register? How? Why? No. Like, that's happened to me so many times where I was that 1 person. And like, it's just, I don't know if the computer schedules it that way or if a person schedules it that way, but somebody needs to get it together, because that was like the most annoying thing, is not knowing if you're actually going to get to go to your break on time or if you're actually going to get to go to your lunch on time. Like, that was the worst part, because usually you're not. And it was like annoying, because I would go to my grandparents for lunch every day. And so if I don't get off until like 2 hours after when I'm supposed to have my lunch, guess what? There's no food. Like, I just don't eat. I mean, obviously it's my grandparents, so they're gonna find something for me to eat, but I'm not gonna get to eat the food that they cooked for me, you know? So it's just like stupid and inconsiderate. It's just really inconsiderate. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe, because I make new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!